In 1841, surveyor Robert Dixon drew a map of the country around the recently closed Moreton Bay Penal Settlement. The map was created ahead of the planned opening up of the region to free settlement, scheduled for 1842. Familiar features of the landscape are clearly apparent on this map, such as the Brisbane River, Mount Gravatt and Bulimba Creek. However, there is a mysterious unnamed trackway that snakes its way south from what is today Woolloongabba, formerly known as 1 Mile Swamp, passing through a place simply called the Station, before coming to an abrupt end at what Dixon calls the River Teviot, today known as the Logan River. On a map he made the following year, Dixon now names this track as the Road to the Logan, and he indicates that the track begins at the convict station at Cowper's Plains, founded in 1828, to a northern branch of today's Slacks Creek. The track again appears on the Baker's map of 1846, and with much more surrounding detail on a map of the Logan Agricultural Reserve from 1864. This time, the entire track from Woolloongabba to Maclean and beyond is labelled as the Old Logan Road. Clearly, the road was in use for many years and was a well-known feature of the early Brisbane landscape. This documentary will attempt to chart the course of this long-vanished, unknown trackway and learn something about its origin. In particular, the documentary will show how various creeks and watercourses helped to guide and define the path that came to be known as the Old Logan Road. From Brisbane, the track to the convict station at Cowper's Plains could be reached by passing through South Brisbane and then turning south. This southerly running track is today's Ipswich Road. The website Mapping Brisbane History states that the start of Ipswich Road, a diversion from the earlier convict pathway, began with the development of the early five-way Woolloongabba intersection. Ipswich Road had been extended down the eastern side of Boggo Ridge to link up with the start of the road to the Logan district. By comparison, Aboriginal tradition describes a 2-day journey from Meanjin, roughly today's Brisbane City, to Duggalumba, the Logan River with a night stopover at Karawatha Forest, which was originally known as Berrinbar and means place to the south. From there, the Aboriginal people would journey on to Waterford, where they would cross the Logan River. The road to the Logan clearly follows a very different path from the Brisbane River to the Logan River, and as such it could be deduced that this was of European origin. And it's not just the road to the Logan that emerges from the convict station at Cowper's Plains. Dixon's map of 1842 shows a road leading all the way out to Cleveland Point, plus another road heading southwest. A section of this particular road is still in existence today and is known as Bow Hill Road in the suburb of Willawong. From the convict station at Cowper's Plains, the road to the Logan veers away from Ipswich Road and immediately strikes out in a south and easterly direction. For a while the trail is lost, being as it is now under industrial estates. However, Stable Swamp Creek flows through the area of the convict station towards the southeast, along Beenleigh Road and as far as Sunnybank. For travellers from Brisbane wishing to get to the Logan district, following the track to the convict station and then heading southeast along Stable Swamp Creek would have helped them navigate their journey. After climbing over the hill on which atop today stands the Pineland Shopping Centre, the track runs through what is now Runcorn and Currabee, and today's Beenleigh Road follows the course of the road to the Logan along this stretch. The name Beenleigh Road reflects a later time when the track joined other pathways that eventually made their way to the township of Beenleigh, which was founded in 1866. A real estate sales poster from the early 1890s shows Beenleigh Road running alongside the railway line through the Runcorn area. The poster, however, doesn't call it Beenleigh Road. It instead clearly identifies it as the Old Logan Road. At the eastern end of Beenleigh Road, Spring Creek flows southerly from today's Currabee Station, itself once called Spring Creek Station, where it joins an easterly flowing tributary of Slacks Creek near the intersection of Compton Road and Allingham Street, Currabee. From here, this tributary of Slacks Creek heads east along Brookvale Drive at Underwood. The map of 1842 shows clearly the joining of the road to the Logan and the beginning of this arm of Slacks Creek. Consequently, a traveller could either follow this tributary of Slacks Creek to the main body of the creek, which would then lead them on to the Logan River, or they could head south as the track now takes a turn in that direction and more or less follows the modern route of Kingston Road, from roughly Smith Road down to Gould Adams Park. The modern Kingston Road was surveyed in 1864. On the way it passes what was once a large lagoon at the corner of Kingston Road and Wembley Road. Nudging Scrubby Creek at Kingston and then heading down through Gould Adams Park, the trackway soon begins a turn to the southwest, at some point just south of the lakes at Marsden. From here its course towards Maclean is harder to discern on the ground. The track all but disappears between roughly Marsden and the Mount Lindesay Highway. However, the north-south section of Schmitz Creek through Crestmead might have provided direction for the trackway as it made its way towards Maclean. Additionally, Norris Creek Road, in what is now Munreuben, almost perfectly follows where the old track would have run. On a 1948 aerial photo of the Munreuben region, Norris Creek Road is clearly visible. Norris Creek itself flows in a southwesterly direction and, just like along Beanley Road at Sunnybank and Slacks Creek at Underwood, the track would have made use of the creek as a marker in the landscape and followed it towards its destination at the Maclean River crossing. From this area to Maclean, the trackway seems to have been absorbed into the modern Mount Lindesay Highway. On the 1841 map, the track ends abruptly at the Logan River at Maclean. However, the map of 1842 depicts the track extending further south along what is today the Tambourine Street Mundoolan Road across the Burnham Range. Beyond there it heads south before disappearing from the map near the Albert River, just north of the Mundoolan area. On the 1864 Logan Agricultural Reserve map, the old Logan Road appears as an ephemeral presence on an otherwise much busier landscape. It's as if the trackway was already being consigned to memory and the past. New roads were being discussed and planned, while the Logan Agricultural Reserve and the 8 Mile Plains Agricultural Reserve had been established to encourage more intensive agricultural development of the area. At some point after the map was made, someone drew a line and called it New Road. This appears to be the road that eventually would become a section of the modern Logan Road from the Glen Hotel down past the Big Gun and then, with a change of name to Kingston Road, southerly towards Waterford and the ferry service in operation there. More and more maps and potential road plans were drawn up and argued over during the last quarter of the 19th century as the population in the region increased. Agricultural produce and livestock needed to be moved about more efficiently, and new population centres were emerging. With its gently winding course, and virtually missing the Logan Agricultural Reserve entirely, the old Logan Road quietly disappeared from the landscape and eventually from history. But today, some small sections of the old Logan Road can be traced in the landscape, and the road itself did play a vital role in the early opening up of southeast Queensland, and Logan in particular.